Okay, Torah concept in the New Testament. Admonish the unruly. Okay, so Paul's instruction to admonish the unruly in 2 Thessalonians 3:15 reflects a long-standing covenantal principle in the Torah. The community must correct those who act disorderly so they may return to obedience. The Torah consistently frames such admonition as an act of love, responsibility, and preservation of communal holiness. So the Torah parallels Leviticus 19. Israel is commanded to rebuke a neighbor rather than bear sin because of him, establishing correction of the unruly as a covenantal duty. 2. Deuteronomy 13. The community must investigate and confront disorderly or rebellious behavior to preserve faithfulness to God. 3. Deuteronomy 21. The case of the persistently rebellious son shows the unruliness threatens the community and requires firm admonition and discipline. 4. Number 16. Moshe admonishes Korah and his followers for their disorderly rebellion, calling them back to God's appointed order. 5. Exodus 32. Moshe confronts Israel's unruly behavior at the golden calf, demonstrating corrective leadership aimed at restoring covenant fidelity. And 6. Deuteronomy 9. Israel is reminded of its history of unruliness and God's corrective actions, reinforcing the pattern of admonition for restoration. And 7. Deuteronomy 31. Moshe warns of future unruliness and admonishes them to remain faithful, showing that correction is part of covenant continuity. Okay, so the context here is Paul's call to admonish the unruly in 2 Thessalonians 3:15 echoes the Torah's expectation that God's people must address disorderly conduct for the sake of community integrity. And in both contexts, admonition is not rejection, but restorative correction meant to bring the wayward back into alignment with God's ways. The Torah establishes that unruliness threatens the covenant community, and faithful leaders and members must intervene. So Paul continues this pattern, urging believers in Yeshua to uphold order, holiness, and mutual responsibility. So the core insight here is that admonishing the unruly is rooted in the Torah's vision of community that protects the holiness through loving correction. Paul's instruction reflects the same covenantal ethic, calling believers in Yeshua to guide the disorderly back toward obedience and shared faithfulness. So again, this demonstrates that how Paul taught Torah in the New Testament. The Torah has not passed away.